ResortLoop.com is proud to be sponsored by Joffrey's Coffee and Tea Company. Joffrey's now offers coffee subscriptions. You can order a 3, 6, or 12-month subscription. You can choose from 3 collections: the Flavored Coffee Collection, the Roastmasters Collection, or the Disney Signature Coffee Collection. Each collection includes 3 bags per month. With the Joffrey's Coffee subscriptions, never run out of great coffee again. Learn more and order at Joffreys.com.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
The body of water that you see to the right of our forward motion is the Seven Seas Lagoon. The Seven Seas Lagoon is a man-made creation that took 3 years and the removal of millions of cubic yards of earth to complete.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining us. I'm Tim Scott. This is ResortLoop.com, the gateway to the magic. I was going to talk about something a little different today. We didn't get a whole lot of play, but I'm going to mention it here on the show. Might not be a long show, but I wanted to get this out there. This involves Disney Plus. Now, I realize, once again, to date the show, we're in the middle, maybe the back half, maybe the beginning, we don't know, of this coronavirus, COVID-19. But there was an article this week in Variety magazine. I'm going to kind of paraphrase and scroll down here, because there's a lot of little hidden gems of information in here that might involve the parks and some of the content that might be coming out, not necessarily in the parks, but also to Disney Plus. Like I said, this is mostly a streaming article. There's some nuggets in here I think we need to just kind of go over. The Walt Disney Company announced a broad structural reorganization of its media and entertainment business Monday in a move to ramp up and streamline its direct-to-consumer strategy. That involves the creation of a new media and entertainment distribution group, which will oversee all content monetization and streaming operations. Most recently, president of the Consumer Products, Games and Publishing at Disney is going to lead that unit. This came less than a year after the initial launch of this Disney Plus, which I'm sure most people here listening to it love it. It's fantastic. But here, Disney is going to double down and focus on Disney Plus, and more than just Disney Plus, because I just don't want to lump all this into Disney Plus. It's streaming strategy. So I think this is going to go beyond Disney Plus and might change some offerings coming up in the future. It says, under this new structure, the studios will continue to develop and produce originals for Disney streaming services. And this says, which include Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus. Then it says, and legacy platforms, which legacy we all know means old. And I think these old platforms they're talking about is like the Disney Channel and maybe the Disney Now app, possibly ABC. Normal things that aren't streaming that you can subscribe to online. They say, given the incredible success of Disney Plus and our plans to accelerate our direct-to-consumer business, we are strategically positioning our company to more effectively support our growth strategy and increase shareholder value. Increased shareholder value is going to be very important here moving forward. This is from our friend Bob Chapek. He says, managing the content creation is distinct from distribution and will allow us to be more nimble in making the content consumers want most and deliver it the way they prefer to consume it. So again, I think he's doubling down here and mentioning that the consumers, you and me, would rather have this streaming on our demand when we want to watch it, not wait for 8 p.m. on Sunday night, not wait for 10 p.m. in the morning, wherever they're going to release things. Then he also says, our creative teams will concentrate on what they do best, making world-class, franchise-based content. So you can read what you want into that franchise-based. I think it's when he says it, I think he means existing IP, not creating new IP. And while our newly organized global distribution team will focus on delivering and monetizing that content in the most optimal way across all platforms, including Disney Plus, Hulu, ESPN Plus, and the coming Star International streaming service. Now, this Star streaming service is actually for overseas. So I imagine this is for Europe, Asia, anywhere non-US. Some are saying this might be similar to Hulu as far as carrying other Disney content that's not actually Disney branded for the most part. But remember, Hulu also includes, some of the Fox properties, Freeform, all those other kind of options that Disney may have acquired, semi-recently as opposed to being, genuine Disney initial creations. Now, Disney's been planning to increase their streaming strategy for a long time. This goes way back, I don't know if it necessarily want to say way back, but back to Bob Iger. He wanted to put some of the Disney movies on streaming platforms, on pay-per-view, right out of the gate at the same time they were released in theaters. Now there's no theaters. And as this came about, Regal Theaters, I believe, mentioned that they were closing for a while, and AMC is about to ready to run out of cash. And so if Disney's got all these movies, and they want people to buy these movies, see these movies, and there's not a limited amount of theaters, the best option at this point is to go streaming. Put it on your own platform. You're going to, charge, fair prices for the money, or include it in Disney Plus. I'm sure they're working out that pricing strategy right now. But Disney's been getting this ready for a while. In my notes, right here, Disney announced that they were going to more closely integrate Hulu into their business operations. That was earlier this year. This was in January, so this is before a lot of this even started to happen. And before that, Disney took almost full control of Hulu. Comcast is getting out. They came across some kind of buyout deal. Because you got to remember, Hulu started as a joint operation. It was between News Corp, Disney, and Comcast. So, and Disney bought a lot of the News Corporation, or Fox content. So that's on Disney Plus. They have a lot of it on Hulu now. And I'm going to predict right here, I don't like the name Hulu at all. And if Disney's in control of Hulu, I can't believe that they're going to keep the name Hulu. While it has a big following, I see them more going for like a ABC Plus option for some of the ABC shows. Maybe a Fox Plus. Perhaps they'll keep Hulu and put the non-ABC stuff on there. And maybe it'll be like a package. You buy, ABC Plus, you get Hulu Plus. Maybe it's kind of the same price, but they kind of have it divided there so I can build up the individual brands. It's all going to be about packaging down the line. This opens up a whole big conversation and a whole bunch of in-depth thinking we could talk about. If Disney does make something like an ABC Plus where you can get all your ABC content on it, will there be a need for regional TV affiliates? So say you want to watch the ABC program and you could watch it streaming. Do you really need like your local ABC affiliate? That's a question to ask. ABC shows, when they have shows go off the air and go into syndication, are they going to keep the shows themselves to air on Disney Plus, ABC Plus, Hulu, instead of putting them out, selling them out to other stations, because they might have more value having them on your own platform, because subscriptions are the way a lot of business plans are going right now. People would rather have the big subscription for the long term. So you're paying so much a month continuously, perpetually. Maybe you don't have that one purchase where you're going out and you're spending, $60 on a movie, but now you're spending, well, right now we're going to get into pricing in a little bit. $6.99 a month in theory for Disney Plus. But now you're paying $6.99 a month to Disney to watch their stuff every month. Let's get into the pricing right now. So Disney Plus right now, if you're just buying it, you don't know. I'm not going to go into any, if you have the Verizon, you get it for free, or you're building it into other packages. Disney Plus right now, $6.99 a month, $70 a year. As far as streaming services go, that's a deal for the amount of content on the platform. However, when you look at the other platforms like Amazon, is $12.99 a month, or the Prime, $120 a year. Netflix has 3 plans. We're just going to go with the main plan that most people have because it's most comparable to Disney Plus for the feature set. Netflix, for individual streams, is $15.99 a month. So if I'm Disney and I'm looking at this and going, we came out, now we started a little bit low because, we want people to kind of sign on, check out our platform, talk about it with their friends. It's $6.99 a month. But if Netflix is charging $15.99 a month, maybe we don't have that much content. I expect Disney Plus at some point, maybe sooner than later, maybe go up to like $10 a month, $11 a month. Or get a little bit closer there, because you want to think about all the money they're making with Disney Plus. If you increase that by 50% overnight by upping your prices, that's on the table. And if you weren't able to take advantage, remember when Disney Plus first came out, they were offering I believe it was a 3-year deal, and I don't remember what the price was. It might have been the $60 a year for 3 years. I would have wished I would have probably jumped on that, although right now it's included in our Verizon, but we'll see how that ends up going. Anyway, Disney streaming right now is actually, supporting the company, which is very, very unusual. Not that it's Disney streaming, but usually when there's been economic downturns, it's always been the parks and resorts that have, helped prop the company up and helped them, keep making money. The whole thing's upside down to everything that we've experienced before. People aren't going out to see movies because theaters are closed. People aren't going to Disney because the parks were closed. Now they're limited capacity and coming back, but not near the numbers we had before. And the streaming, how brilliant does Bob Iger look now for coming out with streaming and pushing it out the way he did? In the Variety article is the self-reported reach of U.S. streaming services in September. Netflix was number 1 at 56%. YouTube 44%. Right behind, Prime Video is at 41%. Hulu 33%. Disney 24%. Disney Plus is only not quite a year old, maybe about a year old now. Definitely, Disney Plus is actually having an impact on the streaming service. It's only growing. But anyway, to follow up, so this is on Variety magazine, and it seemed very interesting about Disney's streaming strategy. But then the very next day, also in Variety, another article came out said Disney's streaming reorganization cheers investors but confuses insiders. So now the rumor is that maybe the whole thing was actually more for investors in the company to pique their interest, to help them have a good outlook on Disney. But the insiders involved in all this were a little confused. The theory seems to be, if you're concentrating on looking at the streaming things and how on the upside on that, you're not looking at the parks and the downturn in that's, temporarily coming back slowly, but still coming back. The one thing here I thought was very interesting, there's a major investor in the company called, I believe it's Daniel Loeb. Anyway, the main interesting thing I saw in this article was that there's a hedge fund manager who has $1 billion stake in Disney. He wants Disney to forego a dividend and pour that money from the dividend into developing more streaming programming. He wants to get this up to like a Netflix level. Netflix is the big guy on the block as far as streaming with all the content. He wants Disney to be there because he wants everybody, as I mentioned earlier, to hop on board the streaming monthly subscription business model so they constantly have money coming in all the time, round the clock. The one thing I'll say, I love that idea, but I got to wonder, if Avengers came out, the Endgame movies, would they still be able to make $1 billion on a movie streaming only? Now, maybe, granted, they wouldn't make the $1 billion in, I don't know, a few months, however long the movie release would be. But if you're looking long term, if you're going to make $1 billion over maybe a year, and maybe even past that, making even more money because people are going to hang on to the Disney Plus for future Marvel content, I just thought this would be a good time. I just wanted to talk about the future of Disney Plus because I was thinking the other day that it was very odd, and I've already mentioned this, that the parks are downturning and the rest of the company is trying to support the company where normally it's always been the parks. So that's my thoughts. If you have any other thoughts, if I've been rambling incoherently, that's entirely possible, but I think there's some good information in here. I'm Tim Scott. You've been listening to ResortLoop.com, the gateway to the magic. You can always find me on Facebook, Twitter, the website, ResortLoop.com. If you'd like to share your thoughts over at Looper Nation Live, that's our private Facebook group. Everybody, thanks for listening. This has been the gateway to the magic. We'll see you, everybody. Vacation memories will stay with you and your family for a lifetime. The Resort Loop Travel Group was created with this in mind. Our fee-free services will relieve you of the stress and confusion of finding and booking the best vacation at the best price. After booking, we will continue to monitor for ways to save you even more on your vacation. We will check for any upcoming packages and discounts to save you as many vacation dollars as possible. Resort Loop Travel Group, gateway to your magical vacation memories. Get a quote, or for more information, visit ResortLoop.com.